well, Atticus is back to being home again, and now we're just trying to figure out what's next.
Coronavirus has definitely been affecting Panama a lot. So this week, we're going to be getting Atticus ready to detach from civilization.
It's so crazy. All the bars and restaurants are closed. All the tourists have gone home. The only thing that's left open now are grocery stores. It's a different Bocas. All right, got some toilet paper.
Previously on Project Atticus.
After spending 3 years refitting our fixer-upper sailboat, we left the United States with only $2,000 and the goal of working while we cruised. We made it as far as Isla Mujeres, Mexico, before we ran out of money and had to find work. For the next year, we did freelance boat repair jobs until we saved up enough cash to cast the lines and sail south to explore the Western Caribbean.
For the past couple months, we've been working hard on boat projects in Bocas Del Toro, Panama, to prepare Atticus for her biggest challenge yet, crossing the Pacific Ocean.
Well, we just got back to the marina after spending 3 weeks in the boatyard, and so Atticus is a total disaster. Living on a 30-foot boat really requires a lot of constant maintenance and organization, and while we were in the boatyard, everything just kind of exploded and there's stuff everywhere. So we're gonna spend the rest of the day putting our lives back in order.
I couldn't. That was just so well said.
Atticus is back to being home again, and now we're just trying to figure out what's next. Our plans have changed a little bit.
Yeah, so, I mean, as I'm sure as you guys are all aware, there's a lot changing in the world in general right now. Coronavirus has definitely been affecting the economy and the businesses in Panama a lot. The government has shut down pretty much all the businesses that aren't related to transportation, food, and medical stuff. So they've taken pretty dramatic steps to trying to control the spread.
They have closed the Panama Canal, though.
Yeah, well, as far as we know, they've closed the Panama Canal to yachts. Also, Cologne, the town that we were going to basically go to next, is just in total disarray. It's not the nicest town to begin with, and I guess right now it's just really turned upside down. So we've been told that Bocas is probably the best place for us to be while this all kind of blows over.
So our new plan is to hold off on crossing the Pacific this year, and we're just gonna do it next year in 2021.
Obviously, we're really bummed because we were really excited to be able to take on this challenge this year. But in reality, delaying it a year isn't a big deal. And it's going to be a really good opportunity for us to get to see and experience Central America. There's a lot of really fantastic cruising here that we were going to have to just blow by. So what our plan is now, in the short term, is to remove ourselves from civilization for the next month, which in a lot of ways, it's kind of an interesting example of that's an option for you if you live on a sailboat. Mm-hmm. So this week, we're going to be getting Atticus ready to be able to detach from civilization and cut the cord, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. So we got a lot of work to do. Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
First stop will be into town to reprovision. Because we've been in Bocas for so long, our dry storage has kind of dwindled. So we're just gonna go and stock up on canned food and rice and beans. It's not that we think the world is coming to an end, it's just that we might as well stock up so that we can go remote as long as possible.
That said, we've got some homemade hand sanitizer here, so we are prepared.
Yeah. see all the bars and restaurants are closed. This is one of the most popular cruiser hangouts. It's just dead. All the tourists have gone home. The only thing that's left open now are grocery stores. So it's just kind of bizarre. There aren't many people walking around. It's a different Bocas. All right, now I'm getting ready to buy some frozen meats. Because Atticus is so small and our refrigerator is pretty teeny, we don't have a lot of room to just fill up on whatever we want. So I like to get frozen meat because it lasts longer and I can put it in the bottom of a refrigerator and then fill up the rest of the refrigerator with any kind of vegetables that need to be refrigerated.
Estos son los chicken chunks.
Okay.
Y estos son los breast filet.
I think I'll just do breasts. Some toilet paper. In Bocas Del Toro, we still have fully stocked shelves. So I learned from being remote when we have limited opportunities to get fresh provisions that having a lot of variety in my spice packaging really helps. So I just got salsa panameño, mushroom sauce, Creole sauce, ranchero sauce. I don't even really know what the difference of all these is, but when you're out in the middle of nowhere, you just need a little bit of variation to break up the rice and beans and canned chicken. These go a long way. Oh wow, looks like bread's pretty popular. Only one loaf of wheat bread left.
I'd look at that pretty good. Is there something wrong with it?
No, right?
All right, bud. You feeling prepared?
Feeling ready for anything.
You think we got room for all this stuff?
We'll find out.
Yeah, so I was pretty surprised by how much the stores have here, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the supply chain here is designed for all the tourists that come in high season, and all the tourists have left for the most part, and so there's still like a lot of food and just only a handful of locals that actually live here, you know.
All right, well, almost unpacked all my bags. Living on a small boat, we really have to be super organized and really take advantage of super random spaces on the boat to put all this crap. So just gonna take it compartment by compartment, take my time and just realize that it takes a long time and it kind of sucks, but at least we'll have full provisions in case anything crazy happens and we can be off grid for a long time. What you working on there, bud?
Oh, well, it's been, gosh, a couple months since we've lived out on the hook, and so I want to just sort of inspect our whole anchoring system, primarily the chain and the way that the chain connects to the anchor, which is our Mantis swivel. It's a nice piece of gear. One thing about it is that it's made out of stainless steel, whereas the chain is made out of high test steel. And so they're slightly different metals, and since they live in salt water 80%, 90% of their life, I think there's a little bit of galvanic corrosion where the chain is in constant contact with the swivel. So more or less the last two links of chain. Once every 6 months or maybe a year, I like to cut off those last two links of chain. put all the chain back in the chain locker and just more or less inspect all the links as I do it. They're starting to develop some rust, but not much. It's just sort of on the surface. But, you know, maybe another year and we might want to consider replacing it.
How's it going down there, bud?
Yeah, it's going. Back in the hole. In the hole again. Seeing things I'd like to not see again. Doing some engine maintenance today. It's been a little while. There's a couple of items that are just regular maintenance items that have popped up, and it's time to do them before we head off grid. Also, I've got a couple things I gotta do because of the projects we did in the yard. So I've gotta adjust the stuffing box, get it dialed in. I want to do a quick engine alignment, just double check that now that we're in the water, not much has changed. But right now, I'm going to pull the heat exchange tubes and clean the heat exchange real good. In order to remove the heat exchange tubes, I first have to remove the exhaust elbow. Got the heat exchange out. Next, I'm just gonna push through each of these tubes, you know, cleans out each tube a little bit. And then we're going to soak it in vinegar, and Desiree had a clever idea on just using a Ziploc bag. So we'll see how that goes. That was a great solution, bud.
Thanks.
So, this is the result of our vinegar experience. We let this soak overnight. The vinegar is super dirty, so it definitely pulled a lot of crap out of those tubes, so that's great. Yeah, so she's clean as a whistle. Vinegar really does a great job with that. Back in Mexico a couple years ago, we were having very regular overheating problems with our engine, and we were trying everything to try and figure out what the problem was, and it was that the insides of these tubes had just a buildup or like a scale, and that was making it so that the heat couldn't transfer very effectively. So doing something like this regularly has kept us from having overheating problems ever since. So I just came into town because I've got to try and find some gasket material for the exhaust. I really need to change out that gasket. I've reused it more than once now, and the bummer is that a lot of stores are closed. So this was the main one I was hoping would be open. They're like a Yamaha dealer, and looks like they're closed. So we'll see if we're gonna have any luck. This might not work out. Although I've been doing it for years, going into Spanish-speaking hardware stores still makes me nervous. Mostly because after all these years, my Spanish is still terrible. So before I even walk into the hardware store, I try to prepare. The best thing is to find a photo online of the thing that I'm looking for. But barring that, I make sure that I look up a couple of keywords that I'm really going to need to know on Google Translate, if not an entire sentence asking what I need. Necesito material de junta. Gasket material in English? It's not uncommon for me to receive a blank stare in response, leaving me wondering if I mispronounced the words, if Google Translate was wrong, or if this guy just doesn't like me. Sí, pero es lo mismo que papel, un sheet. Now, one problem with using Google Translate to find parts and materials is that vocabulary varies dramatically between Spanish-speaking countries. Sí, ok. Y necesito para el escape de un automóvil, son muy caliente. ¿Es este para mucho caliente? Sí. Sí, este está bien. Por un escape.
La de pasta también. O silicón. La de pasta que para calor. Este es el empaque.
Here, I find out that they call gaskets empaque, which means packing. ¿Y conoces está bien en
mucho calor.
Sí, eso, para calor.
Sí.
I was concerned he was agreeing with me just to get rid of me. I've just been in this situation way too many times where I was convinced to buy the wrong product. So I decided to ask more questions.
¿Qué tipo de material es este?
I realized our conversation wasn't going anywhere, so I looked up the name and number printed on the paper itself on Google, and luckily I was able to find that product and the specs online. Okay, so I lucked out and I was able to find high temperature gasket material. Now, I wasn't actually sure what to look for when I went into town, so I called up Beta Marine just to ask them, like, what do I need for the exhaust gasket? And they said that anything that can withstand 500 degrees Celsius should work. This was all that they had in town, and it is rated for 450 degrees Celsius. So I called Beta back again, and they said that, yeah, 450 should cut it. So good, I'm happy about that. So I've got my old gasket here. You can tell I wasn't able to get the entire thing off in one piece. In fact, that's why I got this band-aid on my thumb here. I had a bit of a fight with the razor blade. I think I got enough of this off where I should be able to stencil this on and then just flip it and get the mirror image, because I believe it is symmetrical. Well, that's it. The engine is back put together. The heat exchange is put together. The coolant's been replaced, and I just retightened and adjusted the stuffing box, so that's good. And so yeah, the engine is done.
Woo.
It's hopefully good to go for another, I don't know. We'll check on it again in 6 months, but odds are I won't have to do much for another year.
Cool. How do you feel?
Feels good. I'm ready to run this engine and get out of here. Hey, bud.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, you know, if I really want to be like done with the engine, not have to think about it for another 6 months, I should probably just check the air filter real quick.
Uh-huh. Oh my god. Do we have a spare?
We do not have a spare.
Oh my gosh.
Alright. Oh.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to our channel by clicking here. And if you're already a huge fan of Project Atticus, consider becoming a patron right there. See you next week.